The news starts now.
Good morning, everyone. Wednesday morning, 6 o'clock, and here on News 5, thanks for joining us. I'm Bill Riles.
And I'm Avery Cotton. First on 5, if you're just joining us this morning, we're going to get you caught up on the big story of the day. What's next for Baldwin County schools now that all of the measures on yesterday's tax referendum were voted down? Well, let's break down the votes based on area to get an idea of how voters across Baldwin County voted yesterday. First, along the Eastern Shore, a stop in Daphne and approval could have meant additions to the high school and elementary school and possibly even a new K-8. That wasn't enough to convince voters. 70% said no to the referendum. Possible plans for Fairhope could have been additions to the high school and middle school and the reopening of a renovated K-1 center, but 62% of voters said no. The hope was Bay Minette was going to get a new elementary school and add-ons at other schools. You can see voters there overwhelmingly said no, with 83% against. In Spanish Fort, 54% of voters were against the increase, even though it meant the possibility of an addition to the high school, a renovation of the elementary school, and maybe even a new elementary school. In Foley, there is a possibility of additions to the high school, middle school, and elementary school, but 75% of voters there said no. Down the road in Gulf Shores, a brand new high school was proposed, but 66% of voters were against the increase. Baldwin County stood out as one of the fastest growing metro areas in the U.S. again this year. It's now 14th in the country, according to a new report by the U.S. Census Bureau. In another census report that tracked population growth from 2010 to 2013, Baldwin County had a 7.3% increase. Mobile, however, remained at 0.3%. Baldwin County leaders say it's the draw of new homes, schools, access to beaches, and other services. Lee Lawson with the Baldwin County Economic Development Alliance says it may also be a result of more people willing to commute. John Gray is with Strategy Public Relations. His company conducted those polls. He joins us now by phone. John, thanks for joining us. So where do you think things went south for the Build Baldwin effort?
Well, I think we saw it in the polling we did a couple of weeks ago.
He's like, golly, I'm uncomfortable right now. And then he reaches behind him and he pulls out a hanger that he left in his suit jacket.
And, you know, John, we were talking about that before the break, and John came over and said, oh, really? Who has that ever happened to? And I was like,
Bill's hand slowly creeps up.
I got up early one morning to cover a fire. They called me out to cover a fire. And apparently I was the only one that answered the phone. And
Thanks, John. This August marks a decade since Hurricane Katrina turned the Gulf Coast upside down. Today, an Air Force reservist is looking for a little girl he rescued from the floodwaters. He's using social media to find her, but the search hasn't been easy. All he has is one picture and a hug he can still feel 10 years later. So far, Maroney, who is stationed in San Antonio, says he hasn't had much luck finding the little girl, but he's not giving up. He recently found a lot of pictures from his time in New Orleans during the storm. He says he's going to try and use Google Maps to find the exact location where he rescued the child and her family. Back to News 5 this morning, 6:21. We are getting you caught up on the big story of the day. What's ahead in the wake of the massive failure of the Baldwin County tax referendum?
Well, the money would have gone to fund school construction, of course, but not only did the new increases fail, so did the renewals of others. But that doesn't mean opponents aren't concerned about the school system.
News 5's Chad Petrie is live in the newsroom with more on that. Hey, Chad. Yes, Devin, we'll see you then. Have a great day.
Bye.